And it's been very upsetting. She's been bullied at school, felt very low, writing notes about wanting to die when she was 8. So obviously you are extremely worried that this is going to happen if the other children find out. So I'm assuming that this is not a piece of information that is out there at the moment.
No.
Okay. And her dad doesn't know yet.
No, I'm not sure quite what his reaction would be.
Okay. All right. So this is complicated.
Yeah. In the first instance, have you got any support?
I haven't fully asked a couple of family members that know about it.
And I think you've tried counselling services but were turned away, is that right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Unfortunately, the CAMS system in terms of child and adolescent mental health services don't very often know very much about gender identity and will often just push it back and say they can't help. What I would suggest you do is twofold. The first thing I would suggest you do is go to your GP and ask for a referral to the Tavistock and Portland NHS Gender Identity Service. That service has got about between an 8 to 10 month waiting list, so nothing's going to happen in a hurry. So getting yourself onto the waiting list, getting your child onto the waiting list, doesn't mean that something's going to happen tomorrow, so you'll still have plenty of time to come to terms with this. The other thing I would suggest you do is reach out to Inmates. You can find us online, and I would suggest you join the parents group. We've got nearly 1,100 parents on that group, and all of them have at some point gone through what you're going through, which is that incredibly difficult first realisation that maybe this isn't something that's going to go away. And you will find so much support and love for your circumstances, because regardless of whatever the outcome is of this, whether your child continues into adulthood and does transition or not, it is incredibly worrying and upsetting, and we know that there's a high incidence of self-harm and suicidality amongst our young people. Let us help you to help you deal with that.
Does that help a little bit, Leanne?
Yes.
Just talking to people that are going through the same thing is so beneficial, isn't it?
Absolutely invaluable.
You're not on your own.
Yeah.
You must feel very lonely right now, especially if you can't speak to your husband about it.
Yeah.
And will there be things that Mummies can help her to bring that conversation up with her partner?
What she can do is, we've got a helpline service and an email information service if she doesn't want to join the parents forum straight off, but she can go on to the parents forum or talk to our helpline advisors, and we can talk around ways maybe to bring this subject up, maybe materials that she can give to her husband that maybe help him understand a little better what's going on. And the fact is that if this is ignored, it's still not going to go away.
Yes.
So,
what does he want as a father?
Yeah,
The one thing you want as a father is your daughter
Is
or your son to be happy,
Yeah.
no matter what it is.
You'll feel an enormous sense of relief once you take a step forward with this and get some support, I promise you.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you,
you.
Leanne. Thank you.
We've got Karen on the line now. Hi, Karen.
Good morning.
So you've got a 16-year-old who was born a girl, now living as a boy, is at the stage where he's wanting medical treatment, and you want to be supportive, but you're afraid of changing his body permanently.
Absolutely. I love who he is and whoever he wants to become, but the thought of the permanent medical intervention and surgery terrifies me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, do you have any support?
No, the majority of the family know the situation and are supportive, but there's not a lot of communication between us, so I'm sort of out on my own, really.
Right. Okay. And has your child sought any kind of medical intervention? Have you approached the GP? Have you been referred to either adult services or the Tavistock?
Yes, he is on the waiting list for Tavistock.
Well, one thing I can tell you is that the process is a very long and slow process, and nothing is going to happen overnight. And in terms of the actual protocol, when he gets to the Tavistock, and even after he's been through the process of being assessed, etc., he will only be put onto blocking medication, which will stop puberty from going any further, but won't make any significant changes to his body at all.
Right.
So the likelihood is, before 18, nothing irreversible will happen anyway. I would suggest maybe thinking about maybe getting a referral to adult services, to one of the services that will take 17-year-olds plus, because it can be very, very frustrating if you're stuck in the holding pattern that sometimes happens for older children when they access Tavistock services. And the other thing I would say to you is reach out to Mermaids. There are lots and lots of other parents who are in exactly the same position as you. And we hold residential weekends, we hold local groups. It means you can meet other parents, talk to other parents, and your son could meet other young people as well. And what we can do as well is introduce you to some older transgender guys who will maybe reassure you a little bit about the